Hello, friend. Welcome to the Intentional Mind podcast, where we're all about helping you intentionally design your life and career. I'm Ange Barnard, and I'm super excited about today's episode. One, because we're talking about energy, specifically 5 ways to amp up your energy. So this episode is for you if you're someone who feels like maybe your energy has been lower than you want it to be, or if you're ready for a next level version of yourself. I'm talking about you're craving that fresh start feeling, or you have some dream on your heart and you want to go after it. Well, you got to amp up your energy if you're going to do so. So we're going to talk about those 5 ways to amp up your energy in just a bit. But before we get to it, I want to give you some updates. If you are someone who's like, I don't want to listen to the updates, I just want to move forward, then be intentional about that. Go ahead and hit the forward button, whatever that looks like on your phone or wherever you're listening to this. I give you permission to do so. If not, listen up. I'm saying if you're someone who's like, no, I actually do want to hear what you have to say, Ange. Okay, listen up, because here are the updates. We're on season 3 of the show, a brand new season. So talk about that fresh start feeling. I've been craving it, and I'm super excited for this new season of the show. So what I want to do on this new season is bring some people on the show that I feel are more experts in their field or have some high energy and some great wisdom to share with us to help us improve our lives. So I've been scouting out, looking for people, tracking them down, and then figuring out when I'm going to schedule those interviews with them, which I will say is a difficult thing to do in this season of my life. But you know what? I'm not going to shy away from something just because it's difficult. Because if it's in alignment with who I want to be, I'm willing to be uncomfortable through it. You feel me? And I want you to think about that, whatever's going on with your life right now. I know there's some discomforts there, but are you willing to deal with those discomforts to be who you really want to be? I hope your answer is yes. I'm talking about, you can even think about if you want to improve your fitness level, your health. It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to say no to the donut. At least it is for me. The cake donut, the fall cake donut, the pumpkin one, whatever it is, the blueberry one, apple one. Okay, you guys get my point. That's uncomfortable, but I'm willing to be uncomfortable to be who I really want to be. So think about, where does that apply into your life? Okay, what was my point again? I just had to drop that wisdom bomb for you. Oh, I'm talking about this new season. So I'm going to bring those people on, give you some wisdom to help improve your career and your life. I'm going to zoom in more into your career, because I feel like no matter who you are, whether you're really blessed to love the work that you do, or you're someone who's like, I'm still trying to figure this out. I feel like we're always trying to figure it out, but you want to improve your career, then I'm going to make sure that we talk about the things that a lot of career people don't talk about. And that's one, your energy that you're bringing into the space that you're in, or that you're bringing into the transition process that you're about to be on for some of us that are looking for new opportunities. Okay, so that's what you can expect with the show. And what else is happening? On my end, just a quick update. My TEDx talk has been released, finally. So you can find it out there on YouTube. If you search Ange Barnard TEDx talk, I'll put a link to it in the show notes as well. But then you can find the talk. You can listen to it. Give me some love over there, like or comment on it if you have a YouTube account. That will help a lot. Someone asked me recently how I felt about it, and they were like, first off, let me tell you, I was so nervous to watch it. But overall, I'm proud that I did the thing. I just did the thing. Of course, there's critiques and things I wish I would have done differently. I also wish there was a little less control from some people involved in the process, so that I could feel like I could have been myself more through it. But I think it's taught me a lot, and I'm excited for what's to come as a result of it. And it's just one of those things where you're like, I did it, and I'm proud of myself for just doing it and going through the discomfort of it all. I love that feeling of making yourself proud. And we're going to talk about that today, because that goes into some of our tips to amp up your energy in just a bit. Another quick update is I'm feeling like over here that I'm coming back, y'all. I'm coming back because I was gone with, my having a baby, and my son's almost 3 months old now. And I feel like I'm stepping out of my maternity leave. And I say that in quotation marks because I kind of created one for myself since I'm self-employed. But there were some contracts I paused, and now I feel like I'm stepping back into it. I just spoke at an event Recently, I have some more booked up for the rest of the month, and we're getting other ones set up. So my speaking career, it's like taking off, and I'm feeling really excited about that and the new content that I'm creating. Speaking of that, people often ask me, what do you talk about? I have a keynote talk that talks about, it's called Ignite Your Influence, and I specifically talk about how to shift your energy up. I bring awareness to the different kinds of energy that show up in our life, in the workplace. And I also talk about communication strategies you can use to influence yourself and other people, and with the consideration of energy. And that's something that we all recognize. We know we're walking into environments that have different energy levels in it. We're bringing our different energy into that space. And it's all about being intentional about how you're showing up. And there's different ways that you can communicate with yourself and with other people to shift energy. So one, you're not at the effect of energy, which is what a lot of people are. And what I mean by that, we're all at the effect of energy, like hands down. If someone's negative around us, we're going to feel it. It can bring us down. But what I want to do is empower more people to be the influencer of the energy versus reacting to it. You're able to shift it in yourself or shift it in other people. Why? Because that's going to change your whole freaking life. It's going to change your work environment. It's going to change your relationships, how you show up, how you feel. And I just think it's so fun to talk about. So that's what I talk about in my workshops for organizations, when I do professional development trainings, or when I speak just doing my keynote. So I just want to say, if you know some people, or you know some people who, I could say that again 5 times. If you know some people who might need someone to do some professional development training or a speaker for an event, holla at your girl. And I will make sure going forward, I really want to just bless the people that are helping me get these opportunities and give them back a portion of that income. Or I know I can just picture people in my mind right now that would be like, no, Ange, like, I don't want that. Like, I just want to help you, because that's the kind of people I tend to attract. But what I'm saying is, why not? Like, go out to eat with your family, take that portion and go out to eat with your family and have fun and create some cool memory. So anyways, again, if you know anyone, help a girl out, you can reach out and I can talk with you about what I have to offer when it comes to speaking and training stuff. So I'm proud of myself for that, for moving forward on that, despite being really tired still in this newborn phase. I'm praising over here for God sending me my nanny. I have a part-time nanny who's been helping me with my son, and she's just such a blessing. And we have some other people that have jumped in to help me at different times, take him for a date night so I can go out with my husband, or for me to work on something like this. And it's just been such a blessing. They say it takes a village. It really does take a village. And I'm going to dive into that too, about when it comes into your dreams. It also takes a village to help you follow through on your dreams. I have another episode coming up that we're going to talk about that a little more. But all right, so that's the update. Thank you for listening. Let's get to it. Okay, so 5 ways to amp up your energy. First and foremost, you, as an energetic being, our energy's flowing through your body. You got to be thinking about how you feel in your body. I'm talking about your health, okay? Straight up. I know people talk about it all the time, but really thinking about, how's your health lately? On a scale of 1 to 10. 10, I'm really proud of my health. 1, I'm not. Where are you at? I would say I'm at probably a 5, keeping it real. With this coming back from having a baby and just some low energy stuff around, just recovering. So knowing that, what's it going to take to move me up to 2 more points, up to the next 2 levels, to a 7? I want you to think about that. What's it going to take to move you up 2 more points from whatever you just scored yourself? So I would say for me, straight up eating clean. Like, what are you fueling your body with? Because if you're fueling yourself with crap, your energy is going to be crap. And another thing you need to dive into and think about is the spiking of your blood sugar and the way you're going about it. Shout out to Glucose Goddess. We did an episode all about Glucose Goddess. That's her Instagram handle. All about her methods for stabilizing your blood sugars. And that's going to help you with your energy. So you got to think about the order in which you eat food. Some of you are like, I know this, but I'm going to remind you of it because I need that reminder. Whereas you start with your greens, and then the proteins and the fats and the sweet stuff or the high carb stuff at the end. So the order in which you eat food is very important. That's going to reduce that spike. It's going to reduce that crash. That's going to help again with the flow of energy in your body. And it's a simple twist, like shift you can make without changing all the food that you're eating. This is what I want you to be thinking about. As I'm talking about these 5 things, I want you to think about, how can I make this easier? I'm going to give you a tip and then think, how can I make it easier on myself? When it comes to your health, simple thing, changing the order in which you eat food. Make it serve you, make it serve your blood sugars. So think about that. When it comes to eating clean, when I ask you, how can you eat more clean? You know the answer to that. What does that look like? Just straight up thinking about planning, I think about myself, how can I make that easier? Well, I was thinking about the subscription services around meals. I'm like, I think I'm ready for that now. That'll make it easier on me to plan for those meals. Picking a day or a chunk of time that I'm putting stuff in the fridge so it's easier for me to grab, and I'm not just grabbing at what's convenient. This is the reality. If you want to have an extraordinary life, you got to do extraordinary things. You got to be doing the things that other people are not doing. And that can be simple as planning your meals out, because the general population probably isn't doing that. They're probably eating whatever, whenever, right? But you wanting to live an extraordinary life, you're going to be doing that. So just things like that to consider. So that first category, I would say, or the first tip when it comes to amping up your energy is eating cleaner. How do you need to do that? How do you need to eat cleaner? Because again, what you put in, you get out. You eat crap, you get crap energy. That's something to consider. The second thing, this is all health related, but I know I'm going to get into deeper stuff. This is more just reminders for you. The second thing though is movement. So movement will bring your energy up. I know that anytime I just do a quick little step away from my computer and go outside and do a quick little walk, my energy goes higher. Or if I get a little sweaty, get my heart rate up, it's like I feel so much better. And I've heard this from a lot of people that we would think are very successful actually say that they felt like when they got their health improved, their business success improved, their career improved, their relationships improved. Because I believe this, if you don't feel good in your body, you're not going to show up well. I'm talking like, even if you're carrying extra pounds you don't want to be carrying, that affects your confidence level. That affects your energy. So I just think about myself. It's like when I feel my best physically, I tend to create a lot more success in other areas of my life because I'm generating a different kind of energy. So fresh start for you. What needs to happen? So that second tip there is movement in your life. Where can you add more movement in your life? I'm talking about little bits here and there. Maybe you block off set times that you're doing walks. Maybe the times that you do walks, you meet up with someone and you guys chat together. I've been thinking about that. Like that's my time when I check my Marco Polo messages, when I reach out to friends, when I start being a highlighter. I'm talking about highlighting the goodness in them. I talk about this in my TEDx talk. I start intentionally doing that when I'm out moving my body as well. And you know what that does for me? It brings my energy up because it brings my focus to the goodness. I'm loving on other people. That makes me feel good. And I'm physically moving. That's raising my energy. All right. So the third tip I have for you is having a clear vision of who you want to be. I talk about this all the time, but I stand in rooms with hundreds of people and I can bet my life on it that a very few bit of people in that room, a tiny percentage of people actually have a vision of what they're working towards. A lot of people are just checking boxes, doing whatever comes their way. I feel like there's a difference between going with the flow from a high energy place where it's like I surrender, I trust that things are working out for me, but it's like you're intentional still, but you're not like tight gripping stuff. You're intentional about your dreams and your wishes, but you're saying, hey God, if you got something better, bring it in. You're not, you know what I mean? You're not tight gripping it. But then there's other people who are kind of approaching, I don't plan. I just kind of go with the flow. And there's no intention behind their life. And I feel like when you're not intentional about your life, what happens is you default to what everybody else wants for you. Or you just kind of live life from that lower energy place where it's like, apathy. I don't really care. Whatever happens, happens. That's a different kind of energy. And sometimes I hear people saying like, I'm just the kind of person that goes with the flow. I'm like, how's that working out for you? Because it depends on what energy you're coming from when you're going with the flow. Is it coming from I have a vision, I set it, and I trust that God's going to help me create that, but I'm not tight gripping stuff and I'm just like at peace because I know who's got my back? Or is it the kind where you're just lazy? You know what I mean? There's a difference there. So check yourself on that. So what I'm saying here is having a vision of who you want to be. Do you have one? If you don't, think about it. Really think about, what do you want your career to look like? What do you want your health to be like? What do you want your relationships to be like? And then from that vision place, that end in mind, then you develop the habits that you need. Then you start acting like that person. We talk a lot about that in my Commit to Your Vision program. But if you need a vision, holla, we can talk about that and get that for you. But it can be as simple as you make it easy. Remember, we keep saying that. How can I make this easy? How can you just simply just be like, I'm going to focus on 3 areas: career, relationships, health. Real quick, let me write down what I want for each area. Ideally, what would I want my health to be like? Vision that. Ideally, what would I want my relationships to be like? Oh, I want more date nights. Oh, I want more times that we talk about our own professional growth. Well, like, how are you going to set that up? And then again, your career. What ideally, if you could do anything, what would you do? Just allow yourself to play and be in that space. Okay, so that is the third way to amp up your energies. You got to have vision you're excited about. That's what keeps me going. And when I start to feel like my energy starts to dip, I'm like, let me recheck with my vision. Do I even still want these things? If I don't want that, what do I want? And then I can track my progress. When I have a vision, I can track my progress. And that gets me excited. That brings my energy up. It's like running a race. It's like when I see that, let's say I signed up for a half marathon and I see that, oh, I'm 6 miles in. And I see that marker and I'm like, oh, I'm proud of myself. Can keep going. I'm measuring it because I have a vision. If you don't have the vision, you're not able to measure it. If you're like, oh, we're just going to run and see what happens, then it's like you're not as excited when you get to 6 miles or whatever the marker is. So you got to make sure that you intentionally set up things to bring your energy level up. Okay? Now, let's go to our fourth tip. This has to do something that I had to learn in this season of life, and that is delegation. You are not meant to do everything by yourself. So when it comes to whatever it is you're working on or a new dream that you have, I want you to know you're going to need to delegate. You can't be everywhere at once, doing everything. So if there's things that are really important to you, how can you outsource those and have people focus on those things? Are there some things in your life right now that, let's be real, you don't really need to be doing? Like someone else can be doing that because they're better at it, but it's taking up your time. An example would be if there's some, let's say, I know that I can do my accounting stuff. I can do it very well, let's say. But I don't like it. I hate it. I could I could outsource that and have someone else do it that actually enjoys it and it's supporting their business. Or in your life, like I'm talking about giving kids chores. I've even coached people when they're like, I'm just so overwhelmed by all the chores and the everyday things that I need to do to keep my household running. Well, is there anyone else in your house that can actually do that thing? Like these simple things that you can outsource that we're not thinking about, like making a part of my husband's regular routine that he cleans the cat litter box, not me. Like those kinds of things. I also like to dive in to think about, are there anything, like look at your career, or you could even look at your household. You can decide what is the thing that drains your energy the most that you're doing. Can you outsource that specific thing? Like if for me, I hate going to the grocery store. Let's just pretend I actually like going to the grocery store. Now it feels like a retreat. Some people get this when you have kids. If you get to go by yourself without the kids kind of thing, you're like, yeah, fun. Anyways, but if there's something that you don't like doing, what's that thing? Because it's draining your energy. It's causing catabolic energy in your life. Who can I outsource that to? So it could be like, then I do a pickup service. If cooking really drains my energy, maybe I do subscription service, or I just look at my budget and I'm like, you know what? I think I could go out to eat a lot more than what I am doing and order that food. And that's going to be so worth it than my energy exchange doing something I don't want to do. You got to figure out what are those things that are draining your energy. Work task, home task. I'm going to delegate those. I'm going to outsource those first and foremost, because that's going to feel like a weight has been lifted off you. because it's the thing that's generating catabolic energy. And a lot of us don't have awareness around that. We haven't sat down to really think about, these are the things draining my energy. Delegate them as much as you can. All right. The next tip. So something that I talk a lot about this on the show is I feel my best when I spend time really being still and journaling, writing out my thoughts, or being in positions where I'm still and I'm able to receive the divine downloads. And you've heard this from people that have created really cool things, wrote a really awesome book, created a really awesome movie, did something cool, right? They have said, oh, that idea came to me when I was still, when I took a sabbatical, when I went out in the woods by myself. And then it's like divine downloads came in, gave me this amazing idea. And then I moved forward on it. Holy Spirit showed up, gave it to me because I was present to listen to it. So what's going to amp your energy up and benefit your life in general is you intentionally create moments like that. And if you're not doing that, that's a problem. That means you're way too busy, because you need time to get that, to hear the Holy Spirit talking to you, or whatever it is you want to call it. Get those divine downloads to come in. So something that I've done intentionally is just spending time in the shower longer, just being in it longer and listening, getting those divine downloads. Creating time for myself to journal. Lately for me, it's been when I've been waking up in the middle of the night to like feed my baby and I can't go back to sleep right away. It's like I pull out my phone and I go into my journal app and I start journaling my thoughts. And that helps me a lot. For some of us, you can create a way better journal routine than that. I used to be the person that had like my coffee or my tea in the morning, and I would try to go outside in nature if I could, if the weather cooperated, or be around some sunlight and journal at that time. And I had that regular, consistent practice, because this is the other thing that will take up your energy. If there's too much going on in your mind, you gotta download it onto something else. That's why I download it onto the paper or into the journal app. Otherwise, it starts to run slower, just like a computer. Too much space taken up in there. Take some of the stuff off. Download it onto some external hard drive, right? So things can speed up. That can affect your energy. Too much going on. You got to figure out where to let those thoughts out. So that's why I think it's really important to have a journal practice, to have a consistent practice of you going into a space and listening and being willing to receive, quieting the mind versus always feeling like you have a quiet moment that you got to turn something on and fill it up. You know people like that. It's like they can't have their house be quiet. They have to have the TV blasting. They can't just let it go for a walk. They got to pick up their phone and listen to something. That was me. I'm that person. But what I've been intentionally doing is shifting. I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to be the person that can go for a walk and get the divine downloads coming in and just listen. Versus like, I'm talking about to the divine, not like listening to like a podcast at that specific time. Of course, listen to podcasts. I'm all about that. That's why I have this show. But you know what I mean? Create intentional times for you to receive the divine downloads. Create intentional times for you to let go of what's in your mind and put it somewhere else and see it as an observer. Because sometimes I can journal the things that I'm mad about, and I can be like, as an observer, I can be like, oh, that's stupid. Like when I actually like see it as an observer and I'm not caught up in it. So journaling helps me with that. But this is what I've been doing in my journal practice that has really helped my energy. And it makes perfect sense because there's energy shifting questions I ask myself on the regular. These are the questions. I want you to think about this. Doing this, even if you just started doing this in the notes section of your phone, I think it would really serve you if you did this daily. Or a sticky note at your desk, whatever it is. It's the 3 P's. The 3 P's. So you write down your praises. So these are things that you are grateful for. You know, gratitude is of a higher energy. If you're feeling like crap, you can shift your own energy by simply asking yourself that. What am I grateful for? So I like to look at it as like, what am I praising for? What am I praising God for? Oh, I'm praising you for my nanny. I'm praising you for the coffee that I had, the sunshine, the whatever it is that came into your life. There's so many things that we can be praising for, we can give thanks for. So I like to note those down on a regular basis. So the 3 P's, praises. The second one is proud. What are you proud of yourself for? That's another energy shifting question. Because a lot of times we're like we can be just feeling really low, and there's always things to be proud of ourselves for. And since I've been asking myself this question on the regular every single day, I actually look for things to be proud of. Like I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna do this workout because I'm gonna be proud of myself. I'm gonna put that in my list of things today. Now my brain's looking for things to be proud of. So I'm training myself to be the person who makes herself proud, who has higher energy. So that's the second P. What are you proud of yourself for? And the third P is prayer. What are you praying for? So this could be something that's heavy on your heart, or there's someone else you're thinking about. Then you're also putting that out there. So you're not just carrying it and just feeling like you're dealing with it on your own. You can just put it out there. So that's really helpful to me. I feel like that's kind of like cleaning out the clutter in my life feeling. That's how it feels. And I'm just putting it out there. So praises, proud, and prayer. Even just doing that simple practice every single day, asking yourself those questions. What am I praising for? / what are you grateful for? What are you proud of yourself for? And what do you want to pray for? Those 3 questions can help shift your energy. So make it a regular practice every day. All right, so let me quickly go over the 5 tips to amp up your energy. Number 1 is fueling yourself with food that is of higher energy. That means the fried crap is not of higher energy. The energy has been depleted from that, the nutrition. So not that, but think of high energy foods. What are those? Those are going to be like the whole foods, lots of colors, and you're also considering the order in which you eat them. You are fueling yourself right, because that's going to cause you, again, when you feel good in your body, you're going to show up and do good things. The second tip I have for you is you're bringing in movement into your life. It's a consistent thing that you add to your life. Where else in your life right now can you move more? When can you add more movement breaks for yourself? And the third thing is you have a vision that you're working towards, and you can let it be easy. You can just be simply thinking about the ideal version of yourself when it comes to your career, your health, or your relationships, and start to act like that person now. That means, what would a strong and fit, healthy person do now? That means a person that has the career that I want with a passive income or whatever it is, or time freedom, autonomy. What do they do? I'm telling you this, they're connected. They're well connected with people. They put themselves out there. So that's stuff you're thinking about, having that vision. And again, you need help with that, holla. And then the 4th tip is having the right community. This is where you delegate. You delegate the things that drain your energy. First, awareness around what are those things when it comes to your work? What are those things when it comes to your household? And how can you delegate those things or make it easier on you when it comes to that thing? All right. And then the 4th tip was, that was the 4th. The 5th was the divine download times, making sure you have time to receive the downloads, quiet space for that, and then, or the time to journal. That fits in there too. It's the quiet space. It's the time to hear. It's the time to get things out of your mind too, without any other external stimulation happening. Be intentional about creating that, because in today's world, most people are not. And I'm telling you, what's going to help you stand out and be really successful when it comes to any area of your life is your unique ability to focus and hear the divine wisdom, because everybody else, they're not doing it. They're scrolling. They're overstimulated. They're not intentionally taking time to hear the wisdom that's being delivered to them. All right. That is it. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'm looking forward to season 3 just being awesome. You have an awesome day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.